What's up, Tsla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the broader markets. I'm going to break down some reports coming out that Tesla may be launching their Robotaxi in California as soon as this weekend, although that news is soon to be, it needs to be confirmed. But for now, that's what we're seeing. I'm also going to talk about what's happening with other pieces of news affecting Tesla stock. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Mumu link. If you sign up for Mumu with the link down below and deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 25 in total. And deposit $5,000, and you're guaranteed 60 free stocks in total. The offer ends at the end of July in just 6 days from now, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, now let's talk about what's happening with Tesla. So, looking at Tesla, I just want to note that we're doing a good job so far at holding up. As you can tell, we had this low down here around 300. If 300 fails us, we're going to be looking for us to potentially dip down towards that 298 to 295 target way down here. But as long as we're above 300, we did mention that we should be testing 308. Now, the question is, can we hold above 308? If we do, we're going to be looking for an attempt to once again push towards this gap resistance around 312. And if we could break the 312s, then I'm looking for the gap fill near 317. So those are your levels to watch for. Can we break resistance and push more or not? Well, we're getting some good news right now. Reports are talking about the Robotaxi potentially expanding this weekend to San Francisco in the Bay Area region. But this is just based off what the reports suggest, right? This was reported by Business Insider according to internal memo, but it's not 100% guaranteed because so far, to my knowledge, the California DMV has said that Tesla has not secured a permit for driverless testing yet. And the Robotaxi will have to have a safety monitor if they end up doing this. However, sources do suggest that they might be launching Robotaxi service in the Bay Area this weekend. So if that comes out, that could be some big news. And that could help Tesla bounce quite a bit if that ends up being the case. Now, Tesla initially told us that, it may take many months for this to get approved. So if it's getting approved this weekend, or if they're at least going to start some kind of like launch, that's going to be very, very cool. So I don't know for sure. Some sources suggest this, but this could be some very, very big news in case it does end up happening. So we'll see about that. It's also worth noting that some of Tesla's owners will possibly receive invites to use the service as well. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully that this news is true and we do end up seeing the launch, but I just want to say we're still waiting for confirmation. Tesla has not confirmed this, although insider sources do suggest this. We will see if there's confirmation or not about this. Will Tesla be launching the Robotaxi service as soon as this weekend in San Francisco? Or is it going to be taking a little bit longer? Because if it does expand more to that region, that could be a very, very bullish catalyst, and that could help Tesla try to bounce even more. So we'll see about that just to be safe. There's also been some more talk about what's happening with the next FSD update. We're talking about the new update that is once again going to be including 10 times the number of parameters as version 13. This is very, very awesome because once again, it's going to help them in different ways. And then with more neural networks, that's going to make things more nuanced and it's going to contain more decision points. So the computing ability becomes a lot better and you're going to have a bigger model at least nonetheless. So pretty cool stuff for now for the Robotaxi. So, pretty cool stuff from what Elon Musk has been saying. Musk also mentioned this on his X page, right? He was talking about how, with what's being said right now, there's been a lot of like very positive remarks about Tesla despite how earnings went. Morgan Stanley said that they struggle to think of any other company as well positioned as Tesla when it comes to data, robotics, energy, AI, manufacturing, and the list goes on. So, yes, the long term is still very bright, and we're going to see if we get an expansion of the Robotaxi this weekend or not. If so, could be a bullish catalyst for Tesla to try to run even higher. So we'll see about that. Now, a couple more things. President Trump met up with Jerome Powell to talk about policy. Once again, there were videos of them disagreeing on some things when it comes to the renovation costs. And then at the same time, President Trump did mention on camera that he wants to see Jerome Powell cut rates. They joked around about a lot of things, but you guys could really see the tension between them. So that's what's happening, at least so far. Besides that, I'm not seeing anything else that's too crazy. But keep in mind, we're only 6 days away from the tariff deadline. The Commerce Secretary, Letnick, has come out, and he has made it very, very clear that the deadline is going to be fixed. As soon as the deadline comes, they're going to be increasing tariffs in the different countries, although they could negotiate even after the deadline. But for now, that's what's going on. Some good news is that, well, let's start off with this news and I'll talk about the good news. President Trump also suggests that he does not want to go below 15% on a lot of the reciprocal tariffs, and they're ranging between 15 to 50%. That's what President Trump said he wants, at least so far. But the good news I was talking about is this: there's been a lot of talk about how India is making fantastic progress at a deal, and they could be announcing the deal very, very soon. And then not the UK, the EU are also negotiating, and we're going to see if they can also get some kind of big deals or not. So we're waiting to see how things end up going, but that's what we're seeing so far on the news. Today's Friday, there's not really much data coming out. And then keep in mind for today, we have a lot of puts expiring. We have a 4.31 puts call option ratio on SPY, over a million puts versus about 250 plus thousand calls. So it just goes to show there's lots of puts. And then when it comes to our options chain on SPY, I'm looking for the 635 and then 636 targets as potential areas of interest because of the high volume. And then we did see quite an increase in open interest for like these higher strikes. So that could be a sign we might be pushing more. We'll see about that just to be safe. So as far as Tesla goes, when it comes to technical analysis, if you want to be a bear, you need to see Tesla fail right over here at 308 and start dipping closer to 300. If that fails, it's looking for a bigger dip. But with this news that Tesla might be launching its Robotaxi in California as soon as this weekend, it's possible that if we do like the news and we try to break 308, we could be looking for an attempt for 312 or above. I'm hoping we try to break out, but we need some confirmation. Can we break and hold 308 to start pushing for 312 and 317? Or do we reject off that and fail? We're going to have to wait and see. However, there is potential for this thing to try to rebound. We have also like a cup and handle like structure if we could hold support. Might tip when we open, then we'll see if we should try to bounce as the day goes on. There's a gap over here to fill that came at 317. So hopefully we try to bounce. I am hoping for that. We'll see just to be safe. In terms of SPY, we're range bound. As we hit 636, we like to reject. And as we hit 634, we like to bounce. So we need to lose 634 to dump a lot lower, start dipping towards these lows. We have to break 636 to break out higher. My gut tells me we're going to consolidate like this, but then there is a stronger possibility of us trying to go higher because of the fact that we're making higher lows, and also because of all the shorts expiring, which could incentivize institutions to start closing positions and then hedging. So closing shorts, then hedge by buying shares. That's what typically happens, and that could launch the market higher. For the QQQ, the same thing is going on. We're just kind of range bound. We have 566 as resistance. If we break this, we're bullish. But if we lose 564, we could be dipping quite a bit more. I do anticipate some sideways price action and maybe an attempt to break out higher. Keep in mind that what's happening is we keep on touching 566. And we're going to see if we could break this to continue to break out or not. So keep that in mind. For the IWM, we're going to see what happens at 224. If that breaks, we're looking for a bigger push. But if we end up losing 223.7, we're looking for a move back down. I think we might be pushing closer to where this white trend line is, closer to 225, and we'll see if it rejects or not. ES is also trading sideways. If we end up losing 6,400, we're looking for a dump. But if we break 6,410, we're looking for an attempt to push towards 6,420 all over again. I just want to see if 6,400 holds or not. We're going to likely consolidate, and hopefully we try to bounce by the end of the day. We'll see just to be safe. So be prepared for some chop and be very, very patient. There's going to be a chop right here on NQ. We're going to see if we can break past 23,300, though. That's going to be another very, very key level. Bitcoin, it could be retesting 115,000. We'll see if we bounce or not. Nvda is slowing a bit. We need to hold 172.5 to see if we bounce. If we bounce off that, we could try to rebound, and we also want to break 174 to continue to push. So give it some time and watch if 172.5 holds. We're making higher lows on Aapl. If we end up losing 212, we're bearish, but then I'm looking for an attempt for 215 nonetheless. AMD is looking more bullish, higher highs and higher lows. If we lose 162, we're looking for a dip. As long as we hold this, we're going to be looking for an attempt to push for 166. Coinbase looks decent. As long as we don't lose 388, we're going to be favoring an attempt for 395. Amazon has support at 232. We're going to see if we bounce off this to push higher or not. Meta is trading sideways. We need to break past 720 to continue to push. We're just range bound on Meta between 712 and 720. Google's also consolidating. We're going to see if this can break past 195 to bounce. If not, we could be tipping towards 190 flat. And Microsoft should be testing 512 to 510. We're going to see if we bounce off this to continue to break out. It's still technically bullish, so great job by Microsoft. The VIX is pushing a bit. It's kind of choppy right now, and we're going to see how this ends up affecting the markets. Keep in mind, my view is that there's going to be a lot of chop, but then we might attempt to push later if we see a lot of support hold, unless SPY loses 634. So as far as Tesla goes, like I said before, we're going to see if we can hold above 308. If we can, there's going to be an attempt to bounce for that 312 target. Then eventually there's a gap to fill above if this continues. We're going to see if we can make a higher low off this double bottom or not. So give this the time it needs. With that being said, I thank you all for listening. Have a good one and peace out.